everyone! Welcome back. I'm Joy, a self-taught artist here in New Zealand and a proud feather mom to four cockatiels. If you haven't already, please hit that subscribe button and join our growing community. I'm really into gentle art, which means today isn't a technical deep dive tutorial, it's a painting practice. I just want to be free and playful today, so I'm making my painting loose, which is actually my favorite style. We'll cover everything from sketching, swatching, watercolor techniques, and adding some mixed media. Let's get settled and start creating together. To keep things free and playful, I'm actually using a gel pen instead of a pencil. I want to challenge myself not to worry about mistakes or correcting my lines. By taking away the eraser, I'm letting go of perfection and just focusing on the movement. This is such a great warm-up for capturing the basic shapes and silhouettes of the birds. In this style, the more wonky and imperfect the shapes are, the better. Take Jesse for example. He is incredibly sweet and playful, but he definitely knows how to get what he wants. He has a way of getting away with munching on our things just by singing to us and looking up with those charming eyes. Capturing that sass is much more important to me than getting every feather in the right place. Next up is Walter. He's the second youngest of our flock, just next to Jesse. We actually brought them both home last year when they were only 4 months old. Because they were hand-reared, they are incredibly tamed and friendly. And I just realized, they'll both be turning 1-year-old next month. Walter is so sweet and very vocal. Though he's not as clingy as Jesse, he's actually very bonded to Lalo, our oldest cockatiel. Walter absolutely loves singing the cookie song, but he has this habit of sounding a bit angry while he sings if he's trying to tell us to turn the TV or the music on. As I'm sketching him, I'm looking at those inquisitive eyes. One little detail I've noticed is that Walter's eyes are much more rounded, whereas Jesse has a more of an almond shape. Capturing those little personality quirks is what makes this stylized process so rewarding. Now for the best part, you can get totally creative with the colors. I know there are a lot of technical rules out there about color theory, but today we're keeping it free and playful. One of my favorite ways to find a palette is by swatching. I actually like to keep a collection of pre-cut watercolor swatches, so I can physically move them around. It's like a puzzle. I can pick them up, jumble them, and mix and match until I find a combination that feels just right. Now for the watercolor magic, my absolute favorite technique is wet on wet. It's exactly what it sounds like, applying wet paint onto wet paint. I love how the water takes over and does its own thing. There's something so beautiful about the way colors blend and bleed into one another, and when it dries, it always leaves behind these unexpected interesting effects. I'm starting by forming Tuco's shape using just clear water. Then, while it's wet, I'm dropping in different shades of yellow. For the gray parts of his feathers, I usually avoid using just a plain flat gray. Instead, I like to use the opposite color on the color wheel to complement it. Or I'll mix Payne's gray with a tiny bit of color to give it more life. And I often leave little white spaces where there's no color at all. Now that our base is dry, we're moving into wet on dry. This simply means painting over the dry watercolor, which is so helpful for those final details or the parts you really want to highlight or enhance. Speaking of history and layers, Lalo and Tuco were our very first birds. We brought them home together when Tuco was 9 months old. Lalo was older, though his previous owner didn't know his exact age. We are actually their third home, but I can see how happy they are here, especially since we introduced their new flockmates, Jesse and Walter. Tuco is our sweet, well-behaved observer. Even though he wasn't hand-tamed when we got him, I was able to train him to land on my hand when he was younger. He's very intuitive. He almost seems to know exactly what we want, especially when Walter and Jesse are making a mess. Lalo, on the other hand, is a bit different. He doesn't enjoy being held or touched, and he can be quite panicky, which is very common for some cockatiels. But it is so rewarding to see that he's found his own version of happy. Lalo loves being around the flock, playing with his toys, and listening to slow, calm music. For us, loving him from a little distance is more than enough. It's all about meeting them and our art exactly where they are. And as we reach the final stages of our painting, I'm bringing in those mixed media touches I mentioned earlier. I'm adding some colored pencils for soft textures and a few pen details to really make those personalities pop. Don't be afraid to experiment here. This is where the painting truly becomes yours. I hope this process inspired you to find a bit of play in your own creative practice. Today, I'm going to leave you now with these final clips, a special piece I'm working on that brings me and all four of the birds together into one simple portrait. But as any bird owner knows, the process is never quite as tidy as the final piece. Stick around until the very end to see the messy side of doing art with four little birds goofing around, from nibbled brushes to creative interruptions. It's all part of the joy.